Hey guys, I hope you're all doing well. I'm currently eating, so I hope you don't mind. But I thought I'm gonna use my little study break and lunch break or afternoon snack break. It's like 4:30 in the afternoon to talk about a question that I received, which is, how did you deal with questions from strangers during weight gain, like your body changed so much? And I want to preface this with a little photo of myself. So this is what I looked like during recovery, which is very different from what I looked like before. I looked super skinny before. That may find something or not. I don't know if things like that are triggering to you. If they are, please let me know. But before I was really skinny and skinnier even than that. Yeah, but I'm not gonna show more photos. And so I changed a lot, but luckily I was in my exchange year, so I didn't get a lot of questions because a lot of the people, like, they would always switch up and like they would come and go. They were all exchange students and they weren't really questioning what I looked like because they didn't know me for long. But people asking me that was really the biggest thing holding me back in recovery because it's all I could think about. I was always wondering, oh my god, what are people gonna think when I gain weight? And from very skinny to like normal, like I am now, I didn't get a lot of comments. Actually, a lot of people liked it, and if they said something, it was more like, you look so, you're glowing and things like that, you know, when they just try to tell you that you look healthier. And I didn't look super unhealthy before, but it was also my whole personality, which did have a lot of energy. So when I finally gained some weight, yeah, I got quite some remarks, but also not that many, or not as many as I expected. I always thought people were just thinking it. And then when I gained a lot of weight, as I said, I was not at home, so nobody said anything because they didn't know me. But then I came back over the holidays and I just got the sweetest reactions ever. Like, most people didn't even comment. They didn't say anything because you gotta realize a lot of people just know it's not their thing. Like, they shouldn't care about what you look like. And maybe it's just the Swiss culture that we are very distant and we don't like to offend anyone or say anything. But I was very lucky that nobody said anything. And then the only thing was, which was in retrospect really sweet, was my grandma. She wanted to buy me new clothes because I just didn't fit my old clothes anymore. And so we went shopping. It was her Christmas gift to me that I got new pants, and I was home over the holidays, Christmas holidays. But she also said things like, but are you eating healthy? And just things like that. Like, she actually cared about me and not really about what I look like, which was very sweet, but also it annoyed me. Because at that point, all I could see in their wanting to eat healthy thing was like being kind of obsessive with food. So I just told her, yeah, I'm eating vegetables. And I didn't really talk a lot, and I always tried to switch up the topic because I didn't want her to judge what I ate, because I ate very non-healthy according to her, because I was just following my extreme hunger, you know. And so then, I went back, and other than my grandma, maybe my aunt or something, nobody really commented on it, which I was super thankful for. My best friend, everyone, they were just like not saying anything. First third. So yeah, I was super lucky. And then when I came back for the second time, it was really horrible for me because I gotta meet everyone. So I came back for summer. And maybe you know, I'm doing Scouts, which is an association where you can just go voluntarily. You plan programs for kids, like in a forest. and then you hang out, blah blah blah. And I always had a crush at Scouts, and he's very skinny, and he's now my boyfriend, and he now lives with me in this apartment. But anyway, I had this crush, and I was just so scared of meeting him, like everyone, but especially him, because I was like, oh my god, he's so skinny. What is he gonna say? Like, he's probably gonna judge me so hard. But as you can see, he didn't bother a lot, so nobody from this association said anything, not even one person. And there's a lot of people with a lot of different personalities, and nobody dared to say anything, which I was super thankful of, because I really did look different. But I think everyone just had better things to do than to talk to me about what I look like. Yeah, so generally, to answer your question, I luckily didn't have to deal with a lot of people telling me that. But there were, I think, like 3 instances or 2. One time, a friend of mine that I made during my exchange, and he only knew me when I was bigger. He told me like, you have such a pretty face, and you would be so pretty if you were a little less fat. And I was like, sir, what do you mean? And he's Indian, and I think, as I've heard, like, they always tell each other that they're fat. Like, it's no joke. Indian people, they're really ruthless with their friends. Like, as soon as they feel comfortable with people, they begin to be quite direct. And I really couldn't handle it. And then I actually told him what was up, why I was gaining weight, why I was eating the way I was eating, and why I didn't want to, like, lose weight as he was recommending me. Yeah, and so then he understood. He didn't really understand, but I think he understood enough to not say anything again. And the other time, I don't even remember who it was. But yeah, usually I didn't say anything to anyone that I was recovering. I just did my thing. I ate a lot of the times I ate alone, so that nobody would say anything. A lot of the times people said nothing, and if they said something, I would just try to explain it to them and try to explain that it was my thing and that I was really happy the way I was, or not really happy, but I knew what I was doing, that everything had a purpose, that I wasn't happy as a skinny person, and all of that stuff, so just that they wouldn't say anything again. But I didn't really bother to explain too much, because I just knew people who had never experienced an ED and recovery. They wouldn't understand. Like, nobody would understand crazy mental hunger if they didn't have it. It's just something insane if you explain it. And the feeling of not being able to stop eating, even though your stomach hurts already, So all of those things I tried to just not talk about, except someone was really weird. And then just try to explain to them that you are doing something for yourself, for your mental health, and that you need to look like that to become happy long term, That's kind of what I did. And yeah, just not always try to kind of switch the topic. That's what I did. And yeah, and then always remember the people who are too bothered about what you look like, don't hang out with them. They're not the right type of people. I mean, understand, for example, my friend that I told you, who was quite ruthless and told me I was fat. I wasn't too mad at him, because I thought, okay, that's probably just his culture, because I also observed with other friends of him, like, that they would make comments like that, and it seemed to be quite normal. But if people have the same culture as you, and it's not normal to say things like that, and it doesn't matter, like, it doesn't, if you're a friend of someone, why would it matter what you look like? I really don't get it. But yeah, so, okay, I remember. The other time someone told me, he was also a different culture, and he was very, like, I don't know, he always tried to be quite skinny because of his dancing things that he did where he had to be quite skinny. And yeah, there also he told me like what breakfast he eats, and like he really tried to recommend me to eat that type of breakfast to like not having to eat that much and stuff. So yeah, every time I just try to not say too much and try to change the topic. But yeah, generally I think a lot of the people don't even say anything, at least to me. Maybe you can tell me how it was for you or how it is for you. If people are being mean, if they even say something. If yes, just change country and come to Switzerland where people are nice. Yeah, and to be honest, in every instance someone said something, it was not a Swiss person. It was always like my grandma, she's Spanish, and there also they love talking about the way you look. The other guy was South American and the other guy Indian. Also, Italian people like to talk about how they are fat and blah blah blah. So I think like a lot of southern countries or cultures are pretty like, I don't know, very direct in that sense, in the way of how you look like. So I hope you don't live in such a country. But yeah, just try to switch topics, I guess. But yeah, tell me about your experiences and see ya.